Hello everyone, Candia with For the Love of Paper and Ink, back to share with you a new project. Welcome back to our channel, and if you're new, please subscribe and hit the bell for notification so you can be informed each time we upload a video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a trashed treasure project. We'll be making this envelope journal from junk mail and scraps, and here's what you're going to need to make it. So you'll need a large manila envelope. This one that I am using is about 13 inches by 10 inches. So you can do it with a smaller one if you have smaller ones. I picked these up at the thrift store, so I have one that I'm recycling from the thrift store, but you can use the ones that you get in the mail, that you get mail in, because this is going to be completely covered up. So it can be a true junk mail from what you get in the mail. So use what you have on hand. You're going to use a piece of junk mail envelope from your junk mail. So this one is 8 3/4 by 4. So a junk mail envelope, and that's what I got here. You're going to get 5 pieces of paper. So any random papers you have. I happen to have these papers from vintage books that I find at the thrift stores, and a piece of tea-dyed paper. You can use all tea-dyed paper. You can use all plain paper if you don't tea-dye your paper. Just plain copy paper. If you have just scrapbook papers, or if you have old letterhead paper, or maybe you have some old paper like for printing invitations on, some decorative paper like that. Use what you have in your stock. Since we can't go shopping right now, just use what you have. So 5 pieces of paper, some sort of little envelope or bag like this. So whenever I go to Ace and purchase little screws, I save the little envelopes, or any little bags like this that you may have. Can use that. I also save the little bags that my silverware comes in at Chili's. So if you happen to have those little bags in your stash of craftiness, you can use that. That is what I used in this one originally. We're going to use some pieces of file folder, and I have my stash of pieces that I have not thrown out from previous projects, so we're going to be using that. I have this from thrift store hunting, but whatever you have that's clear and transparent, use that for this project, or just make a pocket without the transparency with a piece of paper. Some stickers, so any kind of stickers will do. You'll need some scissors, a ruler, and some scrapbook papers. I'm choosing to use some map themed scrapbook papers. I just grabbed a bunch, and oh, I didn't mean to grab that piece of paper. And we'll see how many we use. We're not going to use all of these. So that's the items you need. So if you want to pause now and go gather these items so that you can craft along with me, that will be great, because I'd enjoy to have you craft along with me. Now, before we get started, I'm going to show you what we are going to make. So we're going to make this little envelope journal. So we have a pocket with the clear face right here in the front, and then we have a pocket right here with a tea-dyed index card. So if you have index cards, grab some index cards too. I forgot about that. And if you want to tea-dye them, and then come back to this video and tea dye some paper too, then that would be fine as well. So this is the chilies bag I was talking about I used the first time, and I cover over the chilies part. You put a little tag in here, and we used an envelope here, a junk mail envelope here. So I guess we're actually using 2 junk mail envelopes. So if you want to grab 2 junk mail envelopes, you'll want to do that. Thought I got myself all prepared, and we're going to make tags for each of these. We have a pocket here and a pocket here, both with tags in them. And then we add the pages that we make in here, and then we put a pocket here with a tag in it. And then we have a pocket on the back side as well, out of the envelope with some tags in it. So that is what we're gonna make. And the other thing I forgot to mention that you want to grab is some ink, an old book that you don't mind having gutted, and some stamps. We're also going to need some glue from a glue stick, a permanent glue stick, some Fabri-Tac glue or Aleene's, whatever you have. You can just use one or the other, or you can use both. I'm going to use both. We'll need a circle punch, or you just can cut out with your scissors, and some stamp blocks. So those are the things that you'll need for creating with me. And so to start with, we're going to start with our big manila envelope, and we're going to start by putting this in here, and we're going to glue it. So we're just going to use our glue stick, and we're going to just throw some glue on there and push it in and glue it down. And then we're going to take our cutting board. If you don't have a cutting board, you can just use scissors. And we're going to cut the other end off. Just a smidge. And my cutting board needs sharpened. So I'm going to have to end up using my scissors anyways. So that gives us this end and this end both open. So then we're going to take it and we're going to fold it into 3. So that's actually, no, I find it easier to just go like this. And just eyeball it. It doesn't come out perfect, that's okay. It is a junk journal after all. We're creating something out of junk. And if you happen to have a bone folder on hand, you can use it to press down the creases and make them nice and strong. creases, tight creases. Put my lid back on so my glue doesn't dry out. I live in Arizona, so things dry out quite quickly. Now for the front and all the outside covers, I just covered them with paper, and then as you can see, I didn't cover, because I was covering them with a pocket, I didn't cover it all the way down with paper on this side, but this side I did cover all the way with paper. But on the inside of the pocket, I did cover part way down with paper. So, and then this one I covered part way down too. So we're gonna make some strips for the three inside pockets, the 3 inside flaps. We'll make a little sliver here, for a little sliver here, and a little sliver for here. Make sense? So we'll pick, I'm sorry, let me let my cat in so she'll stop whining at the door. Hopefully that won't be, she won't bug you guys. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. Let's see, I have, most of these are cardstock weight, but I have some that are not cardstock weight that I think I'm going to use for just covering the paper. I think I'm going to use this one for covering some of the paper up. Cut it at 10 inches because just below, let's do right at 10 inches because it's barely 10 inches. And then let's do the strips at 3 inches. I think I'll just do one of each of these for all 3 panels. So we'll need 3 by 10 strips, and we'll need 3 of them for this journal. And we'll stick them on with the glue. And this one we'll have to cut out a little bit on that curve after we get it glued on. Sorry for the noise she's making. She's being a little stinker pot right now. She's a new kitty and she's very rambunctious. So we'll get these all glued down, and they stick over just a hair, so we'll trim those. I like these Yoo-hoo sticks. I get them on Amazon, and I like the big fat ones, and I turn them into, use them to turn into ink pads, or like with the felt backing I get at for chairs I get at the dollar store after I'm done using the glue. Let me show you. And they don't, with these felt pads from the dollar store, from the Dollar Tree, and they don't peel like the foam ones when you're inking. So I'll link below where I get these on Amazon in the video. So that if you want to pick some up, because they're great glue, and then you can use them like this afterwards to make multiple daubers. Now you can take this off, or you can just glue over it. I'm going to just glue over it. It's whatever you prefer to do. Okay, now I'm going to trim off the excess, because this isn't quite a 10-inch envelope. It's just a hair short. And I didn't get them perfectly lined up straight on the bottom. But again, that is okay. We're not striving for perfection here. And I didn't get this on perfectly straight right here. So I'm going to trim that off. And this didn't glue on all the way, or it's just the envelope right there that's... So I'm going to glue that down. And I think this side is probably the same way, so yep. So I'm going to glue that down. There we go. So now there's a little bit of this manila sticking out here. I don't mind that. If you mind it, you can take a brown ink or a black ink and you can ink all the edges and it will hide that. Whatever your preference is. In the end, there's going to be some of the manila envelope or showing through on the edges, so I don't mind that it's showing on these edges either. It's just part of the charm of the envelope journal. You can use different colored envelopes. I've found white envelopes, and I've also found some black envelopes at a thrift store. Actually, a friend found the black ones and gave me some of them. So there's different colored envelopes that you can use. But this is also about using what you have and upcycling and going with what you have from getting in the mail. So, okay, then we're going to cover the front side and the back sides. So these ones are going to be fully covered because we're just putting partial things on top of them. And looks like I just used all the same paper on this as well. So let's see what paper I want to use. kind of like this one. So I'm going to cut it at 10 again. And then let's see what I need to cut each panel at. I might not be able to use all 3 of these panels with this. Let's see. It needs to be 4 1/8. And I decided, this one I did a postal theme, and I don't know if you can guess the theme I decided on this one is maps. Yeah, this one is not 4 1/8, but it might be okay because I will be covering for the front, because I will be covering the edges with this. So you're not going to see so much of the edge of that. So I might put it like this, and then this will be covered over with the frame of this. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, is just do that. Actually, you know what I can do is I can supplement it with this, and you won't even be able to tell. So let's cut this into 10. And let's see, how much do I need? I'm just going to cut a little bit off and glue it on, and then glue the other one over it like that. There we go. We'll do that. So use what you got. And then when the frame goes over it, you won't even be able to notice it. Sorry if I'm getting out of camera. I'm trying to remember to stay above this line on my board here so that I can stay in camera. Okay, so for this, since we're going to be having pockets over it, I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac to make sure it stays on good. And it's the outside of the cover. Here goes the train through. Sorry about that. Can't be helped. There we go. Got that all covered, and once the frame is around it, you won't even notice this. I guess each of these are a different size, so when you're making it, measure each one because they're not all exactly the same. So you can cut each one a separate size. So don't do as I do. Do as I say. And measure each one separately. Because this middle section is a little wider than this section. Now I'm going to need to trim a little off the top because, again, like I said, it's just a hair off height-wise, and I find it easier rather than cutting it shorter, trying to figure out the exact measurement of cutting it shorter on the cutting board, to just trim it off the top. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut this out with some scissors. I like to use small, sharp scissors for this precision work. It's okay if you get a little bit of the envelope off with it. There we go. See, I ended up getting with a little bit of the envelope off with it, but that's okay. So we got that side done. Now for this side, we're going to take our hole punch and we're going to pop it in halfway in. And I find it easier to go in this direction. There is a little arrow on this side, which is kind of pretty much the halfway mark. I don't know if you can see that little arrow there. That's basically where you want to go to, is that little arrow. And then kind of eyeball it to where it's halfway in the center. And then hole punch it. And you get yourself a thumb hole, so that way people know that there's a pocket there. Okay, so now we want to start making our pockets for in here. So we have, on this one we had this big pocket, so we already have that. Oh, and I covered the wrong thing with this. That was supposed to go inside there. Oh well. Well, we'll have to cover this with another piece of scrap material. I guess we could have a double pocket there. Let's go ahead and do a double pocket here since I accidentally did that. And then we have a pocket here and a pocket here. So I think that would be a pretty material for a double pocket. Okay, so let's measure each one to see how wide we need our pocket to be. So this one, I'm going to do the pocket 3 inches wide on this one so I can still see this paper. So 3 inches by 10. Make sure that's right. Yep. 3 inches by 10. So we'll cut the 10 on first. And then we'll cut 3 inches off. That's one pocket. And then pocket 2, we'll make 3.5 inches. And then pocket 3, we'll make 3.25 inches. Okay, so we got each of our pockets there. Like that. And we can still do this on here. We just won't glue it down to the edge so that there will be room. Actually, maybe I should have done 3.25 on this. Yes, I should have done 3.25 on this. So let's use a different. Let's use a different material on that one. Let's use this. So cut it at 10 first. And then 3.25. And then this will fit on there like that. So we can still use a little pocket right here. And this one, I think we do it on both of these. Yeah, and on this one and this one, we're going to put a thumb hole in them. So let's do this one on the same spot we did the other one so it lines up. So we're going to take it like this and line it up. There we go. So it lines up right there with the other one. Just down lower. And then let's do the same thing on this one so we have it centered well. And this one we won't give a thumb hole because we'll have this on it. Okay, let's glue them down. Now this, since they're a little longer, I'm not going to go quite to the edge when we get up to here. I'm going to come in a little bit. A little bit of glue squirted out right there, but it's okay because Fabri-Tac just rubs right off. Actually, do I like that better because of the black in these? I think I do like the black better. Let's go with the map side. I'm going to glue this flap down. I don't want the flap closing on this. So I'm just going to glue the flap down. think I'm going to put that paper on top of there. So I'm going to cut it right here. I'll just use my scissors. I guess I could have used my glue stick for this part. And then I think I'm going to stick a little bit of the paper. No, I think I'm just going to leave it like that. And then maybe stick a sticker up there or something. And then I think I'll stick this paper in here. I have one that's already mostly cut down. There we go. So far we've only used 3, 4, well not quite 4, but 3 1/4 of scrapbook paper. So I'm just pushing this in here and gluing it, pressing it down, the glue. And then we're going to do the same thing to this end. Just using the end scraps of these pieces of paper, not wasting any paper. And when you are gluing stuff, you don't want to over glue, but you don't want to under glue either. You want to just use a medium amount of glue so that it sticks good, but that you don't have glue oozing out everywhere. You just want, like Red Riding Hood, just, or was it, no, it was Goldilocks and the Three Bears. You just want that perfect amount, that just right amount. I didn't get it in there quite all the way on this side, so I'm going to just trim it a little bit because the glue dried too fast. There we go. Just needed a little hair trimmed off. Okay, we're coming along here. Now, let's take care of that outside. So before we start decorating. So we got to do this. And to do that, I always use pieces of file folder. So I got a pretty good sized piece right here that we can use. And I'm going to cut it down to, let's go like this so we can cut it down to exactly what we need. Take a pencil and just eyeball it there. And I get my self-cutting mat. Well, if you don't have a self-cutting mat, you could always use a piece of cardboard. And then what I need is my box cutter. And I just picked this up at Dollar Tree. And I always like to just follow my line to the best of my ability. I find it easier than using a ruler. Okay, then let's measure how wide we need it. I don't remember the measurement. It was 4 1/4, but we're going to do it a little bit smaller than that so that there's a little bit of a gap here. So I'm going to do it 4 1/8. And I'm going to use the cutting board for that. Okay, so we got our size. Now to make the hole in this, what I do is use my Tim Holtz ruler, and I just do 1/2 inch all the way around and draw the line with a pencil. Okay, then I take my box cutter and I just follow along the line and cut the center out. And there we go, that's that easy. And I save this piece back into my scrap folder it goes. Now I want to cover this, as you can see I did on this one, with scrap paper. So I'm going to pick out, actually I think I'm going to use that black paper again. Yeah, let's use some of that black paper, because I think that will look really pretty on the front. So what I'm going to do is glue it onto here, and then I'll just cut the inside out. should have glued it on before I cut the inside out if I was thinking ahead. And then I could have used the center for a tag. But this is just a little extra work. Now we'll cut this extra off. Now, some of the file folder is showing on this, and since this is black, and I don't want the file folder showing, I'm going to ink it up in black, because I didn't get it all the way to the edge here, and then it won't show. And just so that there's a continuity around the whole thing, I'll ink the whole thing up around the whole edge. There. Now you can't really even notice that there was file folder sticking out there. It just looks like a black edge. Oh. Now we're going to take our piece of acetate or vellum or whatever you have, and we're going to glue it onto the back here. If you have a big envelope from junk mail that has a large window in it, you can even use that. I just didn't have one of those, so I created this pocket with this. because this is what I had. But if you happen to have one of those big envelopes with a big window, or envelopes with a big window, I shouldn't say big envelopes, but an envelope with a big window, use one of those. And then we're gonna trim off the excess. And then we can use this extra piece for another time. And then I'm going to do, like I did on this one, a little thumb hole. Ink it back up so it matches the rest of the edges. And then glue it down. This time you only want to glue on 3 sides so that we have the opening for the pocket. There we go. Now we got our pocket on. Okay, so now that we have this on, we're going to move to get the junk mail envelopes on. So those are going to go on these 2 sides. So we have 2 junk mail envelopes, and we're going to cut them both. I just like to cut them so they're just a touch above the window part. And you can save these for little pockets to use in another journal, because they make cute little pockets as well. We're going to glue this part closed. So just pop a little glue on there and glue that closed. Don't go quite all the way in with your glue because you don't want to glue the envelope closed. So don't go quite all the way to the edge of your glue because the envelope flap doesn't go all the way to the edge. Just try and get the flap of your envelope. Okay, so we got those 2, and we're going to be putting them out here. And we're going to cover them with the book pages that we got. So pull out some book pages to put on there. And we're going to just glue it, put glue all around this and not on this part. Now this is a tricky part getting it off of here. So this will be lots of fun. So use your glue stick and put glue on the whole thing, being careful not to get any on your window. And then put your book page down. And then do your other book page. I want to make sure the book page sticks good so that I can pull off the area where it's not going to be sticking to. Okay. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim off the excess. And anything that's not sticking down, I'll make sure and reapply some glue and stick it down. Okay. Then we're gonna take something pointy, like some tweezers or a pick, like a Tim Holtz pick, and go where that window is, and just start ripping the section out. And some of it will come off a little bit around the edges. That's okay. See, it's coming off around the edges a little bit. That happened on my original ones. That's okay. I think it adds to it. You can ink up around there. I just left it as it is. I think it looks kind of cool with it giving it the ripped look. Okay, so that one's done. I'm happy with that. And you can look in the inside and see how far down you have till you get to the end. Okay, there we go. Got 2 envelopes done. And then we decorate them up. So you can see I put some stickers on here and did a little bit of rub-ons on here. So let's get them put into the book. Just glue them in. Oh, before we glue them in, I also punched a little finger hole in them. Did it over to a little bit on to the left on this side because of the window. Didn't really want to interfere too much with the windows, so I did them over to the left a little bit. That looks so cute to me. I hope you guys are liking this. This is a great thing to just throw in your purse. It has lots of pockets to keep receipts in. And then we will have a little bit of papers in here for writing notes down on. You can do the paper one of 2 ways. You can do it with a rubber band, or I mean elastic band, not a rubber band, but an elastic band, so you can change out the papers, or you can do it as I do it, where I sew the papers in. That's what we're going to do. Now, there's one last thing we need to do before we decorate, and that is we're going to do the sewing of the papers in. And I also sewed the seam right here just so that the pocket didn't go all the way through, just so that this was just one little pocket right here. I suppose if you want to keep bigger stuff in here, you could just it would be on this side that you would store bigger stuff, because this side you sew the papers into. So if you want this to be a bigger pocket, you could leave it open and have larger stuff to store in it. It would just make it hard to fold. So I sew on this seam right here, this fold right here, and I sew in the journal pages right here. So let me grab my sewing machine. so these are the 5 pages that we're going to sew in. Oh, I need one more. Here, this page. So I have some tea dyed paper, some different ledger papers. And we're just going to sew it in right here. And I'm going to paper clip it on. So that it stays with the journal while I'm sewing it. And I'm just going to do a straight stitch. And sorry you guys won't be able to see this very well. I'm actually going to do it from this side. Let me put 2 paper clips in. I'm going to paper clip it right here as well. So I have a paper clip on each side. Oh, I forgot to cut off these. So before I sew, let's cut these off. These are the pockets. So I'm wondering what was sticking out there. Okay, got those cut off. So let's put our papers back in. And they fit in there perfectly. And then we're going to paper clip them in. And I'm going to pop a paper clip on this side as well. And then we're going to sew on this side down the seam. Oh man, I ran out of thread in my bobbin. But of course course, that would happen while on film. Okay, but it's sewed partly. You guys get the picture of what it would be like. I'll finish sewing it later. So it would be sewed in, and then we would sew this part right here too. So I'll sew that later. I ran out of thread in my bobbin. But see, as you can see on this one, I've sewed right here on both sides. Sewn the signature in, and sewn so this pocket is just right there. Okay, so now let's decorate up. So we have our stamps that we can use to decorate. Let's kind of fold this up so it doesn't get messed up. There. And I have some leftover coffee dyed paper that we can stamp on, and a few little ephemera pieces, and some stickers that we can stamp on. These are just Dollar Tree stickers. And I have some Bo Bunny stamps that I thought would be fun to stamp on some of these things. Now this might look cool right here, on here, along with piece of coffee dyed paper that has some of this stamping on it. Yeah, let's try that. Now when I stamp, I use an old mouse pad instead of buying one of those fancy stamping tools to stamp on. I just stamp on an old mouse pad. It works just as great, and it cost me about $1 at the thrift store to get one of these. So that's what I do. And you probably have one lying around your house from when mouses needed mouse pads. Yeah, I like that. Just rip the ends off and glue it down, and voila, you got yourself a little decoration. And I like to do things in threes when I can. So let's see what else we can do there. We have this leftover paper from ripping. I like that too. So let's go ahead and glue this all down. There we go. And let's stick something across this part right here where there's sticky. No, that's too big. And that one's too small. Let's see what else I have here. That's just right. Let's put that down. And I like that there. So it covers the glue from the envelope. Okay, got that envelope all decorated up. Now, let's see here how we decorated these things up. So I put layered some stickers, did some rub-ons down here, did some rub-ons on these papers right here. So if you have any rub-ons, these are Tim Holtz rub-ons. I do have some of those left, but I want to try and use what you guys might have on hand, which would be stamps. Have this cute little stamp. So let's use this. I think this would be cute right here. Thought this was all one stamp until I pull it up and find it's two stamps. Let me grab my mouse pad. This helps get a good impression. There, that looks cute. Have this little sticker that looks like a clock with the world map on it. Let's stick it on here. If I can pull it off. Let's put that right there. It says date on it. It's all about playing around and seeing where you like something. Let's see here. Let's do one of these number stickers on here. Or stamps, I should say, not stickers. Where'd the number stamps go? Oh, right here. Let's see what will fit there. I think we can fit the number 7 on there. Ooh, that looks nice. Now we want to give it a second to dry. I might heat set it with my heat gun because this is a shiny surface. See, let it get dry. Looks like it. This might be a cool little spot to cut out with a circle on some coffee dyed paper. Stamp that on there. I take my scissors first. I'm getting a mess here on my desk. Yeah, I like that. There we go. So we got it decorated up in here. Let's decorate it up on the outside. So I have this little camera that I liked, that I thought would be cute on the outside. I do like that. Since we're all about maps, it's kind of like about travel. So, cameras. And I liked the colors of it with it. I like this sticker. This would be cute on here. These are another one from the Dollar Tree. And I like this one that says notes. Let's put this up here. The Dollar Tree has great stickers. So just use your stamps and any stickers you have to decorate this up. Let's use this stamp. Stamp on here. That didn't come out perfect, but that's okay, because then we can layer on top of it with a sticker, or let's see here. Let's use this sticker. Put right there, and then do, let's see, what stamp should we do? Let's do this stamp right here, but we won't ink it all up. There we go. I like how that looks. I think those look good on the back. I want to do a little bit more. Oh, I forgot to dry that, so now it's got smeared a little bit. It's a shiny sticker, so you need to dry these. The permanent ink will stay permanent on them, but because it's a shiny sticker, it takes a little bit to dry for the ink. The ink will run if you touch it. Okay, I want to do a little bit more on the front here. It just seems, it's just a little plain to me. Let's ink this little part up. And stamp that right here. That looks good. And then I'll do something else. Just one more thing. I'm not sure what I want to do. Have this. See if I can pull this up a little bit and tuck one of these behind there. Or I have this one. Kind of like this big one better. Yeah, let's put this on a piece of manila and cut it out. And put it on there. Okay. Let's stamp on it first. I like that script stamp. Let me dry that. Okay, I think that's just what the front needed. And I have a different camera. I wonder if I like this one. No, that's just too big. There we go. And then what I did with this one, this first one, was I put seam binding around it. But I think what I'm going to do with this one is put some sari silk around it. So you can do whatever you have, just any ribbon, anything that you have, put around it. And tie it up. Carry it in your purse, in your backpack, in your bag. Make them as gifts. And they turn out really cute. This is a little bit long of sari silk, but I didn't feel like ripping it up. But it looks pretty all wrapped up like this anyways. So there you have it. That is a upcycled envelope journal, and thank you for crafting along with me today, and I hope you have fun making this upcycled envelope journal. Please make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to be alerted next time Kathy or I put a video up. We also have Instagram and Facebook, both with For the Love of Paper and Ink handles that you can follow us on to see what we're up to on a daily basis. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye!